Let's get this weekend started, because The View is live. Obstructing justice? The bombshell allegations that Trump wanted to fire special counsel investigator Robert Mueller. How bad is this for the president? Vanity Fail. The magazine's Hollywood issue has Photoshop glitches that have people seeing triple. And which actor was digitally removed from the cover? And Olympic gold medal winner Aly Raceman is live on The View. How she says she was a victim in the sex abuse scandal that's rocking U.S. gymnastics. And how she confronted the monster who abused her as a child.
It's your turn to listen to me.
Plus, one of Meghan's BFFs, conservative commentator S.E. Cupp, has her back in Hot Topics as guest co-host. Here come Hot Topics with Joy Behar, Paula Ferris, Sunny Hostin, and Meghan McCain. Now, let's get things started.
TGIF, and welcome to The View, everybody. Lovely to have you. Joining us today as guest host is the lovely and talented host of HLN's new show. What's it called? Unfiltered?
It is.
The fabulous and lovely S.E. Cupp. We go back a little bit because she was always on my HLN show. Now she has her own show on HLN. What does the SE stand for? I never.
Sarah Elizabeth.
Sarah Elizabeth.
When did you start going by SE?
College. I was very affected and obnoxious.
But it's cute.
And then you guys are very good friends. We work together.
Yeah.
Yes.
But this is the first time you and I have done television
It's kind
together.
of weird being on
Really?
camera because we are such good friends. So I love you.
If you guys need to hold hands across the table, we will permit
Mentally.
that.
Yeah.
I have to say, I started wearing glasses in the fall, and my co-anchor from Weekend GMA said, hey, S.E. Cupp called and she wants her look back. So I'm not copying you, even though I was flattered by the
I'm
comment.
sad you also have bad vision.
Okay. So for months, Donald Trump has been saying over and over again that he never wanted to fire Robert Mueller. Sarah Sanders Huckabee there, whatever. What's it? Sarah Huckabee Sanders said the same thing on Fox News. I'm not firing him. I have no intention of firing him. But according to today's New York Times, the paper of record, he did order his head legal counsel, Donald McGahn, to fire Mueller back in June. Now, McGahn threatened to quit rather than do it. Oh, wow. Somebody with some scones. Here's what Donald had to say about it from Davos this morning.
Fake news, folks. Fake news.
What's your message today?
Typical New York Times fake stories.
Mr. Cupp.
Everything's fake news if it doesn't appeal to him. If he doesn't like it, it's fake news. How long is America going to tolerate this lie that this is fake news whenever it's not about him? Is there anybody on the panel who'd like to address the lying?
Oh, well, it was also confirmed by Fox News, his favorite outlet of record. So I don't
So
think...
they did air. I don't watch Fox News, so they discussed the firing of Mueller.
I watch so you don't have to.
Better you than me.
Per Sean Hannity's report last night, he was actually saying what Donald Trump always said was New York Times, who would trust them, and then earlier in his segment, a reporter came on to say, no, in fact, we've also confirmed.
They've corroborated.
And he goes, I'll deal with it tomorrow. We're going to deal with it tomorrow.
So
And
Hannity
Henry
said
confirmed
that?
it. We'll deal with this tomorrow. And I was like, I don't know. I feel like you're dealing with it
So,
now.
of course, we know that it's probably true.
Well,
That is
don't you
right.
think-
So
but
doesn't
don't you
that-
think
you're
it's
the
a
lawyer.
good
You know why
news?
it's true? Because the White House counsel has refused to comment on it, and Donald Trump's lawyers have no comment on it, and no answer is an answer. And so, of course, it's true. What is shocking to me is that this allegedly came up during the investigation, the special counsel investigation. So someone told the special counsel that he, too, was on the chopping block, and it's just such clear obstruction. I mean, this is, I think, really, really serious. It's sort of harkens back to Nixon and the Saturday Night Massacre.
Yeah, but you know the difference between Nixon and this?
He doesn't really have the authority to
Well, the
fire
question I have is, well, you're bringing up about Nixon, though. Nixon ordered his attorney general to fire Archibald Cox, who was the special prosecutor during Watergate. So the president does, in fact, have the power to do that.
But that was the end of Nixon, right after that.
Exactly.
And they told him that.
But don't you think that this is almost good news in some ways, because this is the equanimity we wanted to see from Donald Trump? He's actually listening to people. If his or if his counsel said, I will walk away if you fire him, and he doesn't, that shows that he's listening to somebody besides himself.
Well,
and you can say,
for now.
Yeah, for now.
But who's surprised by this, that President Trump was like, yeah, let's fire, like, you're fired was his tagline on his television show before he became president. So, while I think this is ethically ambiguous, I'm not surprised by it.
Well, at least, I mean, who believes that Donald Trump didn't walk around the White House one day and ask, can I fire this guy? Am I allowed to fire this guy? Of course he did. And actually reasonable to wonder if Mueller has some conflicts and ask those questions. That's okay. But to then tell your White House counsel, I want him fired, that's a different thing. I don't know if they can prove the intent necessary for obstruction.
Well,
that's on, you know, I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, why else would he say that if he didn't have the intent to obstruct?
Well, what they're saying now, what they're floating now, is that they thought there were some conflicts of interest with a golf club, and they might have plausible deniability.
We'll see. But the bottom line is, if you've got nothing to hide, then why are you firing the person that is investigating you?
And sure,
that is really the bottom. And to me,
do you guys think he's? The question, too, do you think he's still trying to obstruct? He says he wants to talk with Robert Mueller. They've handed over 1.2 million pages of documents from the campaign, 20,000 from the White House. 20 White House staffers have now talked to the investigation. Do you think they're still obstructing?
If I were his lawyer, I would duct tape his mouth shut. I wouldn't want him anywhere near the special counsel. We know what
he's going to be subpoenaed anyway, and he has to go. That's the whole. That's the bottom line.
I would advise him to claim executive privilege.
I would pay big money to see you would try and advise President Trump in this scenario. I mean, it's duct tape your mouth shut.
I would have to duct tape his mouth shut.
The question, though, too, is why are these leaks happening now? Because this allegedly happened 7 months ago. Why is it happening in the middle of a Thursday night dump before Friday news?
But
Maggie Haberman, in particular, who seems to be getting every major. I mean, that in particular, I'm just like, she's an incredible journalist. She's getting every major news break.
She's got a source.
7 months ago. Clearly, there's somebody leaking.
But it happened 7 months ago, but they said that a lot of this information is coming to light during the investigation. Robert Mueller is now, he has spoken to 20 staffers, so, and 8 of those were voluntary. So in these interviews, that's when it's been coming to light.
And
so I think now we're hearing about it.
For an investigation. I mean, I remember starting investigations, and they're never linear. They always sort of look like this. So you're looking at this, and then it's like, oh, but
this door opens.
Wow.
Right.
And that, I think, is what's happening to this team.
Now, this is an even funnier story. The White House asked New York's Guggenheim Museum if they could borrow Van Gogh's painting Landscape with Snow. It's
very
beautiful
pretty.
painting.
It is beautiful.
But the curator, Nancy Spector, gave another suggestion. A fully functioning solid gold toilet, which is titled America, which is a satirical piece aimed at the excess wealth in the country.
Gosh. Pretty on the nose there, guys.
She said, here, you can't have Van Gogh, but sit on this.
You can't have any of that. This is some high-level, Ivy League-level trolling here.
It's some
you can't have any of our good
shade,
stuff,
man.
but you can have the toilet. What do you
It's
think?
so shady. It's like
trolling.
It's like
You said shady, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's not even a low-key shade. It's like a high-level shade.
Have you ever seen Trump Tower? Trump Tower is completely gold.
I've never been to Trump Tower, but doesn't he have gold toilets in his? So
he has gold
maybe he would
everything.
take it.
But he's such a
I don't know.
germaphobe. Can you imagine they offered him a used gold toilet?
It's not used.
It is used. It's part of the exhibit. You can go to the museum and use it. It's fully
I know, but
functioning.
every 15 minutes, some guy, poor thing, comes in and has to clean it.
Oh God.
They should give that job to Harvey Weinstein. We'll be right back.
Have more sex. Why fixing your relationship problems could be as easy as jumping in the sack. She stood tall, fearless, at the center of a powerful movement.
For a woman like Rose McGowan to say, I'm going to take this medium and I'm going to use it to speak out about the harassment and injustices I have experienced.
When she says, help me here, she's saying, It's not just me this is going to happen to. It's happening to all of us.
Now Tuesday, Rose McGowan, in her first daytime interview, sits down live with the women of The View.
We are strong, we are brave, and we will fight.
Don't miss this View, Tuesday on ABC. Still ahead, Olympic gold medal winner Allie Raceman shares how she survived a child sex abuse nightmare and found the strength to face down her attacker in court.
This group of women you so heartlessly abused over such a long period of time are now a force, and you are nothing.
So Stormy Daniels, remember her? She's the porn star that, well, you know. Anyway, she took a break from her Make America Horny Again tour.
Is that legitimate? It's literally
Yes.
to make
I saw the strip club. It's outside the front. It says Make America Horny Again. And she took a break to sit down with Inside Edition.
Yeah.
But she didn't have too much to say, or did she? Watch.
Did you have a sexual relationship with Donald Trump? You can't answer that. Did you have any relationship with Donald Trump?
Well, I think it's common, you know, by looking at photos that I've met him.
There are reports you've been paid $130,000 to be quiet. Have you been paid to keep quiet? Have you signed a non-disclosure agreement? Are you frustrated that you can't talk about these things? You clearly want to say, you're looking at me like you can't talk.
She's laughing.
So is she giving a little wink to the story, because she can't really say it.
She didn't say anything. So what are the repercussions if she actually does break her silence and admit to some of this, even though she has allegedly signed an NDA?
I mean, the ramifications could be significant. There's always a monetary fine. So she allegedly got $130,000. Imagine if the penalty is $500,000 or $1 million. So she can't say anything. But I think it's odd that, you know, Michael Cohen, who's the Trump private attorney, allegedly set this $130,000 payout for her silence through an LLC formed in Delaware, probably just for this purpose. And the name of it was Essential Consultants, LLC.
Oh, that's a good one.
Essential Consultants, LLC. And this was in October of 2016, right before the election, and no one seems to care.
No, when people care, we care. Melania cares. Melania was home with Barron, a 3-month-old baby, when he was out philandering with this
Allegedly.
one. You know, allegedly, but in 2011, she gave an interview to In Touch magazine, and she spilled the beans then. So, hello. Yeah. But she also said that this is so interesting to me. She said in that interview they had textbook generic sex. Why would you go to a porn star for generic sex? You can get that at home.
Especially a porn star who's known for goodwill. Goodwill Home said that.
Don't you want her on this show? I want her here.
Stormy Daniels she's cleaning up. I mean, she's making a ton of money. Her career is revived, and she's just playing the hand she was dealt. No problem there. What bothers me, though, in giving her this platform, you know, Monica Lewinsky was also caught having an affair with a president. Who's going to interview her? I'd love to see someone interview her. Her life was ruined by this affair.
What are you talking
Bring her back. Jimmy Kimmel's going to have Stormy Daniels on.
You're talking about Monica Lewinsky?
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel needs to have her on his show if he expects us to watch an interview with Stormy Daniels and take it seriously. Stormy Daniels is killing it. Monica Lewinsky's life was destroyed.
But Monica's more of an upstanding, you know, not that this girl is not. She's a porn star.
And Bill Clinton
It's a little different from Monica.
That's why Monica should be given more of a platform.
Bill Clinton isn't the president anymore. The president is Donald Trump.
So it's much more relevant at the very least.
No, this is all going to come back to roost until the left really deals with the fact that feminists like Gloria Steinem and Hillary Clinton herself went after these women and attacked them and smeared them. Until that is all reckoned with, you can't say, well, he's not president anymore.
But Essie, if you go back in history, if you go back in history and you bring back every woman who stopped president, the whole building would be filled. I mean, starting with Thomas Jefferson and his slave girl, Sally Hemmings.
I think what she's trying to say is that there is a
and
lot
George
of...
Washington did it too, I heard.
There's a lot of hypocrisy with a lot of sort of like, as he is saying, leftist feminists, including, by the way, it was publicly came out that Lena Dunham, who was a big surrogate for Hillary Clinton, was caught in a, I believe, off-the-record HBO dinner talking about how she was having a hard time still supporting Hillary Clinton because of her relationship with Bill Clinton's mistresses. And I do think Stormy Daniels is a pornography star. I'm fantastic, amazing. I don't think we should shame her for being in that line of work.
No,
can't shame her for capitalism right now. Yeah, amazing. But this is a capitalist society. She sees a market right now. That's all well and good.
Good for her. She's making 75 grand an appearance.
You said. That's a lot of money.
I read that somebody said that they paid her that. We don't know for
The problem going forward is now all of us are bad because Republicans on our side were supposed to be the party of family values, and we have a notorious cheater who allegedly, it looks like more than likely, allegedly slept with a porn star.
More than likely, allegedly.
Had just, well, I'm just saying.
Disclaimer, please, Sunday, read the disclaimer.
Trump vehemently denies any sexual encounter with Stormy Daniels.
Fake news.
ABC News was also never able to confirm the Stormy account when approached in 2016. Trump vehemently denies any sexual encounter.
Okay, we'll be right back. Franco was originally on the cover of Vanity Fair's Hollywood issue, but he was digitally removed. That sounds so weird because of the sexual misconduct allegations against him. And Casey Affleck just voluntarily stepped down as presenter of the Best Actress Oscar. Excuse me. This is cough drop. I'm sorry. Given the climate, it's live TV. I'm choking. Given the climate in Hollywood, was there any other choice in both cases? I mean, one, he took himself out. And the other one, they took him out.
So I don't really care about award ceremonies this much. Most of the time, the movies that are in it, I haven't seen nor care about. And I liked I, Tonya, and that's pretty much the only one I care about. But I will say I was interested to see the press reaction on the red carpet if Casey Affleck had chosen to show up.
Right.
If women would boo him on stage. Like, that would be the drama.
He settled cases
He settled the
sexual
case.
Harassment?
He settled the case, yes, and then he apologized after he won
Should he be
the Oscar
forgiven if he
last year.
apologizes?
But that's the thing, like, with a lot of these guys, are we just out to ruin them, or are we out to help rehabilitate them? And I think that's the big question that we're exploring right now.
It seems like they want to ruin their careers more, not ruin them.
Can you have a career after you've been accused of this? I mean, the James Franco thing we've talked about at the table was... I couldn't get my mind around it because 4 of the women that came forward said that he pressured them to perform scenes in this acting school partially nude. The class that they enrolled in was called sex scenes. And so it just seems to me that if you enroll in a class called sex scenes, you have to learn how to do a sex scene. And so you may have to...
Yeah, but why would
them.
you have to be nude to learn how to do a sex scene?
But I would assume that, I don't know.
Yeah,
I've never been in a sex scene.
But a lot of
to my
these
knowledge,
women said
Except the
that
real
they were
life
pressured to do added scenes that weren't in the script. And look, you know when it feels wrong. You know when it feels exploitative.
That's true.
But the other option these guys have is show up and face the music. I mean, Casey Affleck takes himself out. Why? What's he afraid of? The heat that he's going to get? The comments that maybe the woman, the woman he's handing an Oscar to is going to say? I don't know. James Franco just skipped the SAG's red carpet. He was at the event. He wanted that award. But he skipped the red carpet because he didn't want the heat. Show up. It's the least you can do.
Are they trying to be supportive of the Time's Up movement?
And take the heat.
Are they trying to then be supportive?
No, they're trying to CYA. They're trying to not answer the tough questions. They're trying to hope that people will forget about it if they just go home. Show up, face the music. It's the least you can do.
What did James Franco?
I should say Franco's attorney disputed all of the women's allegations, and Franco called the Twitter accusations not accurate. And Affleck said that both sides in the case are prohibited from commenting on the matter, and added, "I believe that any kind of mistreatment of anyone for any reason is unacceptable and abhorrent, and everyone deserves to be treated with respect in the workplace and anywhere else." So those are the statements from Franco.
I said this the other day when they say the report is not accurate. It's like a very fuzzy way to describe. Because, you know, I didn't touch you there, I touched you here. So the accuracy is off. I don't trust that word accurate.
That they have been removed from the cover and the Oscar season?
Well, if they're harassers and it's shown to be true, you believe the women, then why should they get the goodies in their career?
I agree with that.
They're on the side of the accusers, I think.
Yeah. Of course, we have to remember that you want to make sure that it's true. You want to make sure that it's true. Well, mostly, and the other thing is, like, I saw this Jerry Falwell's son the other day, and he's talking about Trump, and he doesn't believe any of the accusations against Trump. Why? Because he said they didn't happen, so he believes him. So in other words, Al Franken admits it happened, and that's fine. Get rid of Al Franken, get rid of all the ones who would say yes, and the ones who deny, it's fine.
I was going to bring up Kesha and people not believing Kesha when she came out against Dr. Luke.
That's right.
Because I love Kesha so much, and I think she needs to come out and talk about what it was like to be shamed when she accused Dr. Luke of sexually harassing her. People, she was disinvited places, then she was reinvited. It took other women in the music industry to support her, and I personally would like to hear her.
I believe Rose McGowan is coming on the show, right, Brian?
She is.
So we'll talk to her. We'll be right back.
It's the child sexual abuse scandal that's shaking U.S. gymnastics to its core. Olympic gold medal winner Aly Raisman is live to share how she survived the abuse, took back her life, and faced her accuser in court.
The tables have turned, Larry. We are here. We have our voices, and we are not going anywhere.
It is my honor and privilege to sentence you because, sir, you do not deserve to walk outside of a prison ever again. I'm giving you 175 years, which is 2,100 months. I've just signed your death warrant.
Dr. Larry Nassar will spend the rest of his life in prison for abusing gymnasts under his care. Take a look.
Dr. Larry Nassar is accused of sexually abusing more than 150 girls over a 20-year period, some as young as 6 years old. Nassar practiced medicine at Michigan State University and became the chief medical coordinator for the U.S. gymnastics team in 1996, traveling to 4 Olympics as a trusted team doctor. But he betrayed that trust by performing so-called medical exams, where he would commit brazen acts of sexual abuse. Nassar would sexually abuse the girls, sometimes while he was noticeably aroused. If parents were still in the room, he would put up a sheet to keep them from seeing how he was abusing their children. Over his decades as a sexual predator, some girls claimed they did share their stories with school officials and coaches, but they were either not believed or discouraged from speaking out about it. Those girls were finally able to break their silence last week when 156 women confronted him one by one in the courtroom during his sentencing hearing. One of the most powerful statements came during a surprise appearance by 3-time Olympic gold medal winner Aly Raisman.
You are so sick, I can't even comprehend how angry I feel when I think of you. You lied to me and manipulated me to think that when you treated me, you were closing your eyes because you had been working hard when you were really touching me, an innocent child, to pleasure yourself. You already know you're going away to a place where you won't be able to hurt anybody ever again. But I am here to tell you that I will not rest until every last trace of your influence on this sport has been destroyed like the cancer it is.
Joining us now, please welcome Aly Raisman. Bravo. Bravo.
They don't do that very often.
No, I was telling her, you know, I'm a former child sex crimes prosecutor, and your bravery and your courage, I applaud you.
Thank you.
And I will tell you, as a former sex crimes prosecutor, people that abuse children don't do so well in prison. And he will spend the rest of his life there. Does that give you any solace?
I mean, it's so hard to put into words how everything feels. Obviously, him being put away for the rest of his life is where he should be, and hopefully it sets an example for any other abuser around the world, because there are so many of them, that their time is up and that abuse is never, ever, ever okay. But my work and the army of survivors, we're not done yet. We still have to hold these organizations accountable. United States Olympic Committee, USA Gymnastics, Michigan State University, they enabled this monster. They took his side over us for so long.
Yeah. Unbelievable. You know, we just heard your powerful statement at Nassar's hearing. I understand you initially were hesitant to do that. What ultimately changed your mind?
So Wednesday night, it was around 10 o'clock at night, I was just online looking at all of the powerful videos of all of the survivors, and I watched Kyle Stevens say, "Little girls grow into strong women to destroy your world." And I was just blown away. I mean, you watch these young girls at 15 years old, the way that they spoke, the way they delivered their speeches, young girls, women. It was just, I mean, it was, I don't even have words to describe. I just felt like I needed to be there. And when I went there, I mean, we just felt like we were a family. Obviously, under the circumstances of where we met is not where you want to meet someone and make new family and friends, but we'll have this bond forever, and we're all working together to create change. What happened was unacceptable, but it was a very last-minute decision, but I am glad that I did go.
Larry Nassar, that's his name. He made eye contact with you, didn't he, while you were speaking just now? Well, I'm wondering, you know, what was going through your mind? Do you think he felt sorry?
I felt like when I was speaking and he looked at me, he kind of just looked blank. I don't think he understands what he really did wrong. I think he expects everyone to feel bad for him. He wrote a letter to the judge saying it was unfair and that, you know, he shouldn't have to listen to everyone. But I mean, it just, and I called him out in my statement because it's just absurd that that's hard for you. Imagine how all of us feel. Yeah. You know, it's just.
We know that this has been incredibly painful for you to relive the abuse, especially in that courtroom. But you were just 15 years old when the abuse happened. You were required to see Dr. Nassar either in a hotel room, a dorm room, alone. He didn't wear gloves, late at night. For a long time, you didn't know that it was abuse. When did the light bulb go on that this is not okay?
Well, I think this is why I feel it's so important to talk about, because when I was younger, I only thought that a stranger could hurt me. I didn't know, and it never occurred to me that somebody that you could trust so much, a doctor, could hurt you. And I think that's why we really have to continue talking about it, to educate everyone, especially these young kids from the time that they're really little, that unfortunately, even someone you love can hurt you. I can't tell you how many moms have come up to me since I've come forward saying that they found out their husband was abusing their daughter. I mean, our society doesn't allow ourselves to really understand how common abuse is. And I did find out when, in 2015, USA Gymnastics hired a private investigator. And Fran Zeppler came to my house and interviewed me, and I was totally caught off guard. And I was used to just kind of sticking up for him. Over the years, my teammates and I would talk amongst ourselves saying, he's really weird and he definitely makes us uncomfortable, but then we would kind of make excuses and we'd say, well, he does it to all of us, so it must be okay. He's been doing it for so long, so if it was wrong, he would have already been caught. And he's a doctor, and he's the Olympic doctor, so he has to be the best. So we would always just make excuses and stick up for him, and he would give us gifts. So we thought he was there for us. I thought he was my friend, and he really manipulated us. We have to teach everyone the grooming techniques so you understand just because someone's nice to everyone else, just because they give you gifts does not mean they're a good person.
Yeah. And I love how the abusers in these stories are always the victim. You notice that? They become the victim. Yeah, right. So we all remember this video of your parents when you were dancing, I guess, or doing your thing. They were wincing at your every move while you competed at the Olympics. They love you so much. How did they react when this happened, when you told them?
Devastated. You know, my parents have been so incredibly supportive, and from the moment that we realized that Larry was a monster, we continually followed up with USA Gymnastics to make sure they reported it to the authorities, and they told us that they had, but you know, I regret trusting them. They said we're handling this, and they made me feel like if I kept reaching out, I was going to interfere with the investigation. I didn't want to do that, of course. I didn't want to tip off the investigation, and so, you know, that's why we need an independent investigation to get to the bottom of this, because USA Gymnastics, United States Olympic Committee, Michigan State University, they enabled this and they didn't handle it right, and we need to get to the bottom of it.
And should they have a female doctor? Why they have a male doctor in such a female business?
Well, it's also we're minors, too, and you know, we should have never, ever been alone with him. He would actually come to my hotel room, work on me on my bed. And so USA Gymnastics knew about this because they were too cheap to have a different facility where we would go to get therapy. You know, you should be together as a group. Sure. And he didn't have a massage table. He never used gloves. But I had never used a trainer or a doctor before, and I was so excited being on the national team. You would assume they'd have the best people, so I didn't know anything differently. So when people, you know, ask how we didn't know, it's because we didn't know anything differently, and that's why we have to talk about it, to educate everyone about it.
Real quick, though, you said, you talk about holding those accountable. You said MSU's been held accountable, the USOC and USA Gymnastics, but what about the face of U.S. Gymnastics, Bella and Marta Caroli? They have not been implicated, we should say that, and they have denied knowing that any of this ever took place, but did they bear some of the responsibility?
You know, I think that's why even more we need to stress the need for an independent investigation, because I don't have the answers. We don't know all the people that did know, but for so long, I mean, for 30 years, and that's just as far back as we know, everyone stood up for him. Everyone thought he was the best doctor. And, you know, one person enough to complain that he was making them uncomfortable should have been enough.
Wow. It's unbelievable. No,
your bravery again speaks volumes. Your bravery and the bravery of the over 150 girls and women that spoke up. Bravo to you. And I think what you have done will lead to real change for girls all across the country, like my daughter, who is also a gymnast. So I thank you for protecting her and for protecting them. Thanks to Allie Raceman. We'll be right back.
Strong. It means standing up for what you believe.
We definitely have things to stand up against in this country right now.
We will back you up. We will stand with you.
It means women standing up together.
There's women who are standing up and saying, no, me too, and I'm going to watch out for my sisters on set. I just think that is so powerful.
It means kicking some. Oh, you know.
I'm pretty gangster, and you're going to pay me what I'm worth.
We don't quit. You strong.
What's the next step? Run the world.
Yes.
Good one.
All day long. We're The View on ABC. Let's go.
So earlier in the show, we were talking about Vanity Fair's Hollywood issue, but before the photos had people seeing triple. Some Photoshop glitches. You look at the cover. Gave Oprah a third hand.
Yeah.
Take a look at that. She has
I see the third hand there.
Oh, my gosh.
She does have her hands in everything, though. I mean, she's very talented.
Exactly. No wonder she gets so many things done. And Reese Witherspoon had an extra leg.
I don't see this. See, I don't see the extra leg.
Yeah, she's got 3 legs.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
She's just got her legs crossed.
What is that on the left? That's not the same color as the inside of her dress.
She's just really flexible, I think. I mean, try sitting like that. You can do it, but it's really uncomfortable.
But it doesn't give you another leg.
Yeah.
I don't think.
But is it, you know, what struck me is this is their biggest issue.
Yeah.
Right? And they screw it up like that, but everything is Photoshopped. Yes. Right? And remember growing up as a girl, you'd be looking through the magazines and oh my gosh, I wish I looked like that. No one looks like that. They don't look like that either.
No, literally, they don't have 3 legs.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But if you could have an extra hand or an extra leg, which would you prefer?
Me, if I had an extra hand or an extra leg?
What would you prefer?
An extra hand, of course.
Yeah.
I think so, too.
I don't need another leg. I'm not going to walk any faster.
But I don't understand. I mean, we can all Photoshop Photoshop these days. Yeah, my 3-year-old can Photoshop better than this.
Yeah.
These were Annie Leibovitz photographs. I mean, if you're Annie Leibovitz, how pissed are you?
She must be pissed. She's somebody screwed up.
It's a big fail.
Vanity Fair cover. Get this right. Get this one right.
So they say that you know something about Oprah and Reese didn't mind?
Oh, they didn't seem to mind. They both tweeted. I think we have the tweets behind us. Reese Witherspoon said, I can't read it because I'm blind right now.
Well, I guess
guys, everybody knows now I have 3 legs. I hope you can still accept me for who I am, and I will never apologize for snuggling Oprah. Oprah responded, I accept your 3rd leg, as I know you accept my 3rd hand.
That's cute.
They handled it with humor. They definitely.
So before we go, we still have like a few seconds left. You two. You went to Meghan's wedding?
I did. Yeah, it's an honor.
I love you.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Esty and I are really good old friends, and I don't know what I would do without you in this industry.
How did you guys meet?
We don't have time. In the industry, and we always say that like we're both living proof that you can support each other and be friends and not be competitive in a nasty way in an industry that pits women against each other a lot. And I love you, and I don't know what I'd do without you.
I love you too.
What's your best wedding advice?
I gave it to her. She asked me that night. I said, have a lot of sex. But I've shared a cabin with those two.
Oh my
no
God.
problem.
Oh my TMI. That's another story for another day.
Love you, babe.
It was an accident.
We thought you were going. We'll be right back.
No.
We'll be right back. Yeah, we have another segment. Who knows? We'll be right back.
Monday. Is this woman taking President Trump's job in 2020? Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is live on The View to talk about being the Democrats' biggest hope to win back the White House. Plus, a brand new Oprah edition of View Your Deal.
But I want to clarify that Meghan said that she has never had sex in front of other people. But according to S.C. Cupp, she's extremely loud.
That's not
in the
true.
bedroom.
Oh my God.
Did we just make it worse?
I hope that Cindy McCain is watching.
When money's tight and emergencies arise, CashNetUSA.com is available 24/7 to deliver quick loans for approved customers when they need it the most.
Apply now at CashNetUSA.com.
Money's on the way.